Hi, this is Nakia with Table for Two, and I am so lucky to be sitting here with Mary Jo and Jack. And they are together a collaboration board game inventors, and I'm happy to have you guys here. Hello.
Nice to be
Hello.
here.
Thanks for
So
having
I,
us.
you're welcome. I'm excited because actually I have not ever met anybody with this dynamic that you guys have. You live in two different cities, same state. One of you is in LA, one's in San Diego. You meet together and work on board games. You're inventors. I want to hear a little bit about it from both of you. Maybe you, Jack, go first.
Yeah, so we met at New York Toy Fair, which we go to almost every year in February, and um, I was mostly doing board games part-time. Mary Jo is more full-time, but once I went full-time, I was more free, and we suggested we start working together. And Mary Jo had one game she wanted some help with, and since we only live a couple hours from each other, we started working together on, and we've had several games out together. And Mary Jo, if you want to talk about our office a little bit.
Yeah, our office is right in between LA and San Diego. It's a charming little coffee shop in San Juan Capistrano, and it takes us about the same amount of time to get there. So we usually get there in the morning, order our coffee, sit outside. It's California, so it's always nice out, and we sit and work together, and then we go home and do our own parts of it and come up with whatever we need to keep working on, and then get together again the next week. So it's usually like once a week when we're
Okay.
intensely working on something that we do that.
Is it the same day every time? Like one specific day of the week?
Yeah, these are
Usually,
Thursdays. Yeah.
yeah.
Very organized.
Mhm.
So, that first game that you guys worked on together, well, I want to know you guys aren't running like Kickstarters and getting people to buy your games. Can you tell me about that? Like, how do you get this game out when you make one?
So we pitch our concepts to publishers. So we're professional inventors. We pitch them to a whole lot of different publishers, and we've worked with many different publishers over the years on many different games. We each have quite a few games published, some together, some individually. And yeah, so we license to established companies.
What does that mean, license to established companies?
It's a lot like a book publishing
Okay.
agreement is very similar, so people are a little more familiar with that. So, there's an author, they write the book. They don't work for Penguin specifically, but they might license their book to Penguin, who will then edit it and get it ready for their customers, and then um, manufacture it, if you will. They'll print it. In our case, it's more manufacturing because there's other parts involved other than just printing. And then they'll sell it to companies or to stores, to outlets, to Amazon, to Barnes and Noble, to Target, to whatever. Yeah.
Do you so you get royalties? That's how you get paid.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Jack, can you tell me a little bit about pitching? What that looks like when you pitch to these companies? And how do you choose who you're taking? You say you show the same game to several people.
Oh,
Tell
it's a
me
really
about
good
that.
question.
Thank you.
It's really about picking the right publisher to show things to, because
Mm,
some publishers more likely to look at party games, where another publisher might look for something a little with more of a strategy game. So it's really about carefully selecting the right game for the right publisher. So so they know that you know what you're talking about and what you're doing. Um, and then so we will often pitch a game, the same game, to a few different publishers, and hope that something sticks.
I have questions. So when you pitch the game, do you tell them that other people have seen it too and you're waiting on first come, first serve, or
I
how does
think
that
it's
work?
it's generally understood. Um, uh, yeah, it's generally understood that we're not just going to pitch it to one person. If somebody really wants it and doesn't want you to pitch it to another person, they can actually um, uh, pay you
Option.
and option it, yeah, to not show it to anyone else. And that's only happened to me once or twice.
Oh, that's like putting a deposit down or something like that, if you
Yeah,
want it to.
that's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
Okay. And man, I had another question about when they see it. So has no one ever like two companies say on the same day, we want it, and then you guys have to choose between them yourself, like a negotiation thing?
Well, the ideal situation is like, there's a bidding war, but usually that's pretty, I've never really heard of that happening. I mean, I've heard of different companies wanting it, different games, and we've had that a couple times. Not that doesn't happen very often. Usually a publisher knows exactly what they want, and it's all about the relationship with the publisher. So we also kind of have to know what they want and what they're looking for. So
Mm.
it's a relationship game.
Do they ever ask you, like, we need a game that does this and has this many players, and then set you out to go create that game?
It's happened. It's not as common, but we've done that. Yeah.
We have a game out right now that we were actually pitching a different game to a publisher, and during the conversation, he said, "Well, we're really looking for this." And our Ramen Extreme game, that's how that one came about.
Okay, yes, and I want to thank you guys. I got a couple of promotional games from you. The ramen game, Extreme Ramen, and Overboard. I played Overboard with my family. We had a great time. Like, it is so fun. You know, one thing about the game that I really like is that the boats that are in the water with the people that are going to go overboard, we don't own any of the boats. We're not like player one, player two like that. And that's so different. So that I think that's why we liked it. It was like all the boats are up for grabs for all of us. But could you guys share a little bit about Overboard so everybody has a little understanding what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so Overboard is a light strategy game for 2 to 4 players. Recently, I actually played it in pairs, so there were 6 of us, but we played two, two, and two, and it worked fine. Um, and it's kind of it's a light strategy game with a bit of a silly theme where there's 16 tourists stuck in the middle of the ocean, and they keep doing silly things and falling overboard. And there's a dice rolling component, and you ultimately move the pieces in and out of the boats and move the boats forward and backwards, trying to achieve specific goals that you have in your hand. So that's sort of the gist of Overboard. It's a dice rolling game, and it's not. I would say it's about the level of Ticket to Ride as far as difficulty level.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Thank you
So
for that,
MJ, do
Jack.
you want
Yeah, and everyone has challenges they're trying to do. So one of the nice things that's kind of always an all play, even though it's turn based, because if someone else makes a move that satisfies one of your challenge cards, you can claim your challenge card right then. So you always have to be paying attention.
That's actually why I like it too. So tell me about how that came about. Is this an idea of one of yours?
Well, when Jack and I work together, we do a bunch of different approaches. We take a bunch of different approaches. Sometimes one of us will have a game that we've worked on and we just get stuck and it's like, I know there's something here and but I can't figure it out. And sometimes we'll come up with stuff together and sometimes it'll be very spontaneous and sometimes it'll be based on just a name or just a mechanism or something like that. So Overboard in particular was something that I had this general idea for, and I'd been tinkering and tinkering and tinkering, and it just wasn't working, but I felt like there was something there, and the story was a little bit more involved than it is now. Now it's a little sillier. It was silly then, but now it's a little lighter, but the Jack brought a lot of great things to the table with it, and then it was just like, yes, that's what it needed, and we just kind of went. And I would say out of all of my games I've had published, this one probably has the longest history of time to completion. But it's also a very satisfying game. So we're really happy with how it turned out.
Oh,
One of
nice.
the funny things was I talked about the name as sometimes the genesis of it. And I was playing with different names and I was like, Motion of the Ocean. That's funny because it's kind of dirty, but it's not. So that one started with the name. Um, and we ended up pitching it with that name to a lot of people. And so the company of this one actually they changed it. It's more I think we're pretty good at naming things, so I think our names have usually, if not always, stuck. And this one they changed, and I think they did a really good job with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very catchy, Overboard. I actually just saw
One
the
other
movie
funny.
recently.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just saw this movie Overboard recently. So, when you relate to things, you're like, hmm, and it makes you grab it because of something else related for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The original passengers that Mary Jo came up with, uh, they were a celebrity, a bodyguard, a dog, and a suitcase.
Luggage. Lots
The
of
luggage.
luggage.
Those were the four, and they were going to a film shoot. And the publisher contacted us and said, "We really like your game. We want to publish it, but we can't make a game where you're throwing a dog overboard." So,
It was okay, the
so
people were fine, but not the dogs.
yeah,
That's
it's okay
funny.
to lose your
And
suitcase.
we also had a little bit more complicated where there was a director at the end and paparazzi and all these different things. So we ended up kind of stripping that element out that was a little more involved than it needed to be. So it went through a lot of iterations and it was very fun to work on.
How would somebody find this game to buy it since they've heard us talking about it?
Well, it's published by Mindware and they have a really excellent website. So you can get it on their site. You can get it on Amazon, and those are probably the two easiest places to get it.
This is Mindware, Mindware.
WARE.com.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mindware.com.
yeah.
Awesome. I also want to share with our audience how to get a hold of you guys too. Maybe they have some questions about um creating their own board games, getting some inspiration from you all, maybe even some connections to these places that you go to pitch your, you're not gatekeeping, right?
Well,
Um,
there are events we'll direct people to that are really helpful. Yeah.
okay. All right. So first of all, we're Table for Two, where strangers become friends. It happens every time I interview somebody. These are our originators of the board gaming community, Table for Two. You can find us at our website. And this is Mary Jo and Jack's contacts and the games that we were just discussing. There's Overboard, there's Ramen Extreme, and this is how you find Table for Two. We have an Instagram, Facebook, and this interview, you're probably watching it on YouTube. If you're watching a short somewhere else, you can go to YouTube and find us. Thank you guys so much for your time, for your expertise. I appreciate you.
It's been fun. Thanks.
Thanks for the invitation.